गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा गोपीजनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन समुरातिरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम। जय श्री राधा माधव की, श्री पंचतत्व की, श्री नरसिंह भगवान की, अकरा प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, गौर प्रेमानंद। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं जलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्मृत्योर्नमाम्यहं वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudhiraye nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। So this morning we are reciting from the third canto, 16th chapter, text number 26. śrī-bhagavān uvāca etau suretara-gatiṁ pratipadya sadyaḥ saṁrambha sambhṛta samādhi anubaddha yogau bhūyaḥ sakāśam upayāsyata āshu yogau śāpo mayaiva nimitas aveta viprāḥ śrī-bhagavān uvāca etau suretara-gatiṁ pratipadya sadyaḥ saṁrambha sambhṛta samādhi anubaddha yogau bhūyaḥ sakāśam upayāsyata āshu yogau śāpo mayaiva nimitas aveta viprāḥ śrī-bhagavān uvāca etau suretara-gatiṁ pratipadya sadyaḥ saṁrambha sambhṛta samādhi anubaddha yogau bhūyaḥ sakāśam upayāsyata āshu yogau śāpo mayaiva nimitas aveta viprāḥ. All Prabhujis together can chant, please. śrī-bhagavān uvāca etau suretara-gatiṁ pratipadya sadyaḥ saṁrambha sambhṛta samādhi anubaddha yogau bhūyaḥ sakāśam upayāsyata āshu yogau śāpo mayaiva nimitas aveta viprāḥ. All Matajis together. Very good. All the devotees recited a big verse very easily. Huh? Thank you. śrī-bhagavān uvāca. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, etau, these two doorkeepers, sura-itara, demoniac, gatim, the womb, pratipadya, obtaining, sadyaḥ, quickly, samṛambha, by anger, sambhṛta, intensified, samādhi, concentration of mind, anubaddha, firmly, yogau, united with me, bhūyaḥ, again, sakāśam, to my presence, upayāsyataḥ, shall return, ashu, shortly, yaha, which, vaha, of you, śāpaḥ, curse, mayā, by me, eva, alone, nimitas, ordained, tat, that, aveta, no, viprāḥ, O Brahmanas. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. The Lord replied, O Brahmanas, know that the punishment you inflicted on them was originally ordained by me, and therefore they will fall to a birth in a demoniac family. But they will be firmly united with me in thought through mental concentration intensified by anger, and they will return to my presence shortly. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Lord stated that the punishment inflicted by the sages upon the doorkeepers Jaya and Vijay was conceived by the Lord Himself. Without the Lord's sanction, nothing can happen. It is to be understood that there was a plan in the cursing of the Lord's devotees in Vaikuntha, and His plan is explained by many stalwart authorities. The Lord sometimes desires to fight. The fighting spirit also exists in the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how could fighting be manifested at all? Because the Lord is the source of everything, anger and fighting are also inherent in His personality. When He desires to fight with someone, He has to find an enemy. But in the Vaikuntha world, there is no enemy, because everyone is engaged fully in His service. Therefore, He sometimes comes to the material world as an incarnation in order to manifest His fighting spirit. So, somebody may ask, why would Lord want His devotees to be cursed like this? The Lord is supposed to protect His devotee. Instead of protecting, He is letting them become cursed by some 4 Brahmins who came to the door of Vaikuntha. The answer Lord says here, no, nobody can touch my devotee, nobody can harm my devotee. the so-called curse given by 4 Kumaras is ordained by me alone. That's the first answer the Lord gave. Then somebody may ask, really? Why is it that you want to see them cursed by you, if not by the 4 Kumaras? Then the Lord has another reason for that. The reason is, in Vaikuntha nobody is able to fight with me. If I request any devotee, please pick up a bow and arrow or pick up a mace and fight with me, the devotees are refusing. How can I fight with the Lord? At the most they can take a lotus and throw on the Lord. Lord says, this is no fight. I want a good fight. So devotees are not ready. They feel uneasy because how can they offend the Lord? So Lord says, so I will send these 2 devotees of mine who are my favorites to the material world, and also through their mental concentration intensified by anger, they will fight with me, and I will enjoy the fighting. Now somebody may say, really? You enjoy fighting? We only have heard that you enjoy to see devotees doing kirtans, bhajans, shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam and all that. You enjoy fighting. So Prabhupada writes here that Lord has many natures which may not be known commonly to all devotees. There are 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. One of the secondary rasas is Virya rasa. There is also Raudra rasa. There is a Bibhatsa rasa. Like that there are many rasas. There is Hasya rasa. Different type of rasas. So the Lord in Virya rasa wants to fight. Sometimes a king may appoint a wrestler in his palace to have fight with him, kushti. So the wrestler in the arena may punch the king, and the king may punch him back, and all the queens may be laughing. All the other ministers are watching also. So the Prabhupada says the wrestler is appointed by the king. He is not enemy of the king. He is appointed by the king to increase the happiness of the king by punching him. King also punches him back. They enjoy this fight. So he is a paid wrestler. So he is not enemy of the king. Just like when I was a small kid. How old is it? What's your age? 8, yeah. Exactly I was like this. What's your name? Gopal? Gopakumar, okay. What is your name? Yeah? Neelamadhav. So Gopakumar, Neelamadhav, and there is one more. Achyuta, yeah. So I was also almost like this when I was like this. At that time, my father used to tell me he would lie on the side and he would ask me to walk over his body. So I would go from his leg, to the hip and to the shoulder, and I'll walk back and forth. So our neighbor sometimes would come and peep through the window. And he would say, hey, you are offending your father? You are walking over his body? So I would be laughing, my father also would be laughing. Because we both know the purpose. He enjoys me walking over his body because he feels pain in the body. When I walk, is he benefiting or is he harmed by that? He's benefiting, isn't it? So I know he is happy with me walking. So that's why I walk just for his pleasure. Otherwise, how can I put my father under my feet? It would be great offense, isn't it? But he's ordered me, hey, walk over my body. So that's why I'm walking. I'm not offending him that way. So later on, when I grew up, double this age, I became 15. Still my father wanted service, but this time he told me, don't walk over my body, do like this. From the top to bottom, I would do like this. So basically, I am here to please him. If he tells me to walk, I will walk. If he tells me to beat, I will beat. But my beating him is for whose pleasure? For his pleasure. Similarly, the Lord sometimes wants to fight. He says, okay, I will come to the material world. My devotee becomes a demon. And then the devotee will fight with me. And the devotees are agreeable. You see, that's the most amazing thing. When Lord Vishnu, later on, after the Kumaras went away, Jayavijay asked the Lord, my dear Lord, it is your will that we go to the material world and become asuras, demons. Lord said, yes. And Lord asked, you have a choice. Either you go for 7 birds as my devotees or 3 birds as demons. So how many of you would prefer 7 birds? Let us take we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 15 of them. Because as a devotee, you can take even 1,000,000 birds, also not a problem. Because as devotee, you will get Mahaprasad. You know, you can get darshan of the Lord, you can hear kirtan. When we are here in Mayapur, we feel we are already in the spiritual world, isn't it? Such a life of a devotee is almost like being in spiritual world, except that there may be little heat of the sun, or sometimes, you have some little health issues. Otherwise, being in devotion service, even in the material world, is as good as being in spiritual world. So any of us may say, oh, it's better to take 7 birds as a devotee, not 3 birds as a demon. But Jaya Vijay initially wanted to take 7 birds, but later they agreed for 3 birds. You know the reason why? They said, not only because it is a shorter time, in 3 birds you will finish and come back. No, that was not the intention. The intention was, if Lord wants to fight and enjoy the Virya Rasa, if we become devotees, then we will not be able to give him the pleasure of fighting. So since we want to give him the pleasure of fighting, they told the Lord, my dear Lord, make us demons, make us forget you, and make us throw weapons at you and fight with you, and you fight with us. If this is the way you get pleasure from us. And then once the term is over, please kindly remind us of you and take us back home, back to Godhead. So here comes a very important point called the Tat Sukhi Sukhitvam. Tat Sukhi Sukhitvam means to get pleasure in Lord's pleasure, to get pain in Lord's pain. We have no consideration of my pleasure. Atmendriya priti vanchata re balikam, Krishnendriya priti icha dhare premanam. This verse says, if I want pleasure for my own senses, that is called sense gratification. If I want pleasure for the Lord's senses, that is called bhakti. So that is prema. First is kama, second is prema. So they wanted to give pleasure to Lord. Therefore they agreed to take 3 birds as demons. In this way, a similar phenomenon we can see in Bhishma Pitama also. When Lord brought all the Pandavas, Kauravas, everybody to this world, Lord told Bhishma, Bhishma, you should be on the other side. Naturally, he might have asked, my dear Lord, I am your devotee, put me along with Pandavas. Lord said, no, I want to enjoy Virya Rasa with you. So I want you to be on the other side. So, yeah, Bhishma agreed, because that would give pleasure to Lord. Many people misunderstood Bhishma. Some people say Bhishma is attached to post, therefore he was sticking to Kaurava's side. Some people say, oh, Bhishma ate the salt given by Duryodhana, he became contaminated, so he could not give up his position in the Kaurava court, they say. Some people say, oh, Bhishma was obliged to fight for the ruling party once he had taken a vow. That is why he was on that side. People say all of this is wrong from the transcendental point of view, because from the transcendental point of view, he was on the side of Kauravas one and only for one purpose. What was it? To give pleasure to Krishna by fighting on the other side. That's the only reason. So, Lord Vishnu told Jaya Vijay, I also now desire that you go to material world, but my dear Jaya Vijay, remember, long before you have one punishment pending in your account. They asked, what is that? He said, once goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, came to the Vaikuntha door, and you both fellows stopped her also, like you stopped the Kumaras. And why did you stop her? You told her that Swami is resting, so you cannot meet him now. She asked, what? You can stop me from entering Vaikuntha? He is whose Swami? Is he your Swami or my Swami? She asked. And then both Jaya Vijay and Lakshmi approached Lord Narayana. So one side there was Jaya Vijay, other side there was Lakshmi. Both were asking the Lord, tell me, my Lord, you are our Swami or her Swami? That's a very Dharma Sankat situation. Because if Lord says, I am Jaya Vijay Swami, Lakshmi may become angry and she may leave him and go. Sometimes it happens, Man Leela, correct, no? Or if he says, I am Swami of Lakshmi, goddess of fortune, then Jai Vijay will become morose. They will say, all these years we served you standing at the door, now you have ditched us, you have rejected us. They will say. So Lord Vishnu was thinking, what should I say now? I am in trouble now. At least one of them privately asked me, I would have told, I am your Swami only. When they come, I can tell, I am your Swami. How can I answer? Both parties have come together now. So the Lord simply smiled. And in that smile, both the parties forgot their question. So, Krishna prasada sumukam sprihaniya dhama prema valoka kalaya hridi samsprishantam. Samsprishantam means the Lord's smile expands so beautifully that it touches the heart of the devotees and they forget the quarrelsome nature completely. So, but at that time, Lakshmi had told Jai Vijay that because you stopped me from entering Vaikuntha, you have to go to material world. At least for one lifetime, she had told. But somehow or other, in the Lord's smile, she forgot that also. She also forgot, they also forgot. But who didn't forget? Lord didn't forget. Lord remembered, hey, you fellows earlier were cursed by Lakshmi to go. And that's why I remembered that. And now I ordained this for you, that you should go to material world for 3 lifetimes. And I will also come. We will have great fun fighting. Doing stunt. Let's proceed further. One more paragraph in the purport. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8, also it is said that the Lord appears just to give protection to the devotees and to annihilate the non-devotees. What is that famous verse? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. The non-devotees are found in the material world, not in the spiritual world. Therefore, when the Lord wants to fight, He has come to this world. But who will fight with the Supreme Lord? No one is able to fight with Him. Therefore, because the Lord's pastimes in the material world are always performed with His associates, not with others, He has to find some devotee who will play the part of an enemy. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says to Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, both you and I have appeared many times in this material world, but you have forgotten, whereas I remember. What the famous verse? Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natpam vettah parantapa. Thus Jai and Vijay were selected by the Lord to fight with Him in the material world, and that was the reason the sages came to see Him. And accidentally, the doorkeepers were cursed. It was the Lord's desire to send them to the material world, not perpetually, but for some time. Therefore, it's like coming on duty. Like a company, say for example, company in Calcutta may send somebody to Delhi on duty for about 1 month or 2 months. They will do the duty and come back. Like that the Lord told Jai Vijay, go to material world, finish 3 lifetimes and come back here. On duty. What is the difference between laying off a person from a company and sending a person on duty? What is the difference? If you lay off means you can never come back to company. On duty means you go, do your duty and you can come back. Therefore, just as on a theatrical stage someone takes the part of enemy to the proprietor of the stage, although the play is for a short time, and there is no permanent enmity between the servant and the proprietor. So the Surajanas, devotees, were cursed by the sages to go to the Asurajan or atheistic families. I was recently in Baltimore. There is one devotee who acts as, Hiranyakashipu every year in the Narsimha Leela. And the president of the temple is a very sweet devotee. His name is Neela Madhav Prabhu. He acts as Lord Narsimha. It's a every year thing. They have been doing for more than 10 years like that. So president acts as Narsimha and this congregation leader, one devotee, acts as Hiranyakashipu. And he has 2 sons, the elder son and younger son. So the elder son was acting as Prahlad. So on the stage, when Lord Narasimha appeared and picked up, Hiranyakashipu and put him on the lap and he was, tearing his belly. That time the younger one was watching in the audience. He started crying. He climbed up on the stage, ran to catch Lord Narasimha. What is this? You are attacking my father. And he's asking his brother, hey, Bhaiya, what is this? Your father is there, what are you doing? Later on, Prabhu said the elder son became grown up. And then he needed somebody else for Prahlad. Then the younger son acted as Prahlad after that. But by the time he knew very well that, my father is all right. And there's no problem for him. Isn't it true? So, ordinary people will get bewildered when they see why Lord is defeating Bhishma. Bhishma is also a good person, you may be thinking. Bhishma is a wonderful devotee. But nobody knows that Lord is enjoying this Virya Rasa. So that's what he is saying here, that it was the Lord's desire to send them to the material world, not perpetually, but for some time. Therefore, just on a theoretical stage, someone takes part of enemy to the proprietor of the stage, although the play is for a short time and there is no permanent enmity between servant and the proprietor. So the Surajanas, devotees, were cursed by the sages to go to the Asurajana or atheistic families. Just like I said, father and son may act as, Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, just for the sake of drama. That a devotee come into an atheistic family is surprising, but it is simply a show. After finishing their mock fighting, both the devotee and the Lord are again associated in the spiritual planets. This is very explicitly explained here. The conclusion is that no one falls from the spiritual world or Vaikuntha planet, for it is an eternal abode. But sometimes as Lord desires, the devotees come into this material world as preachers or as atheists. In each case, we must understand that there is a plan of the Lord. Lord Buddha, for example, was an incarnation, yet he preached atheism, that there is no God. But actually, there was a plan behind this, as explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, when Buddha appeared in this world, at that time, the Brahmanas were also eating meat in the name of performing Gomedha Yajna, Ashwamedha Yajna and all. So Buddha was shocked. These fellows who are supposed to study the Vedas and teach Vedas, they themselves have become fallen to the point of eating the animals. Now people are faithfully following the Brahmins, but if the Brahmins don't follow the scriptures, then people are going to be misguided, misled. So they have to be saved. So he told the people, don't follow the Brahmins, don't follow the Vedas, keep it all aside. Then they asked, then what are we supposed to do? Buddham sharanam gacchami. Follow me. Just follow me. And ahimsa paramo dharma, he said. Topmost dharma is ahimsa, non-violence. So his goal was primarily to bring about non-violence as a temporary dharma. It's called as upadharma. It's not the paro dharma. It's upadharma. At least the branch of religion. At least let people come to that. It's a secondary dharma, but let people first follow that. And then, like for example, if any of our students would ask me in the first year, immediately after coming to Krishna consciousness, chanting 1 or 2 rounds, one boy came and asked me, Prabhu, somebody is telling I cannot eat onion and garlic. I said, who told you? No problem, you continue. Now this boy is already eating meat also. What to speak of leaving onion and garlic? I told you don't have to worry about anything. Just chant Hare Krishna. That's all. And after he went, I said, after you chant Hare Krishna, all these things will go away. Correct, no? So you don't have to worry about it. And then after he comes for about 6 months, then we tell them you have to give up meat. It's not good. Then after he comes for 1 year, then we can tell them onion, garlic and all is not good. When they become more mature. There was one Bhakti Vriksha program going on. One very good South Indian couple was coming. 6 months, they were very philosophical. They were very, very appreciative. They would very actively participate, answering questions and all. But one day, they came to attend the class and that became the last class. They were not coming for 3-4 months after that. So Bhakti Vriksha leader was wondering why this family stopped coming. They were very active and participating and enthusiastic. Then they sent one very mature devotee to the home to find out. Then the leader came to know that In one class, the leader told you have to stop coffee. So instead of stopping coffee, they stopped going to class after that. Then the devotee told them that in ISKCON, although we don't drink coffee, you have herbal coffee and herbal tea. Once the devotee showed them herbal tea, they were happy, satisfied. Then they started coming again. So, in the same manner, Buddha came first to teach non-violence, but then next Sripad Shankaracharya came and he introduced the Vedas again, reintroduced Vedas. Vedas were forgotten. He reintroduced Vedas. But he thought, if I directly tell Krishna is the Supreme Lord, for a person who has just now come from adharma to dharma, I will present the lowest understanding of the absolute truth is impersonal. Brahmeti, then Paramatmeti, then Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. So he said, let me introduce to them the impersonal understanding of God. He gave. Then after Shankara came, who? Madhva. He said, no, not Advaitam, Dvaitam, he said. There is God and soul. Then Sripad Ramanujacharya said, Visishtadvaitam. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu synthesized all these philosophies. So, you will see that there was a plan behind Buddha speaking on ahimsa. It was not unintentional. There was an intention, there was a purpose. Like when I was in my 6th standard, at that time, in the summer vacation, I was always fond of mathematics. So I got one 12th standard maths book. I just was curious. After I go to 12th, what will be the maths? How does it look like? I opened that book and I was shocked because all big elongated S was there. F of x, f of y, f of z, big, like this 3 integral calculus. I became shocked. My father was a maths teacher. I went to him and said, I am always fond of mathematics, but not this book. This is like my head is reeling. My father asked me, see, you are in 6th standard. Who told you to take this book? You only should buy 7th standard book. Go step by step, not jump over directly, he said. So, in the same manner, even all of us devotees, when we are, first we should read Bhagavad Gita, then Srimad Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita, then you go to Acharya's commentary, then you go to the Goswami literature. If one jumps to Ujjwal Nilamani, Govinda Lilamrit, in the early stage itself, you try to jump to these books, it will be spinning our head. We won't be able to understand. Very esoteric pastimes of the Lord. So therefore, Buddha first brought them to the standard of no meat eating, then Shankara brought them to religion, and then the highest aspect of religion is Parodharma. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu awarded that. So in this way, another very, very important point in this purport is, nobody can curse a Lord's devotee without the Lord sanctioning it. For example, Durvasa Muni became angry with Ambarish for no good reason. He took some clumps of hair and threw it on the ground and said, a big demon was immediately created from the earth to sky. And the demon was about to kill Ambarish. And Ambarish didn't run away. Ambarish just folded the palms and remembered the Lord in the mind. He thought, my death has come now. I think Lord wants me to die. So he was ready to leave his body. He just was folding the palm and standing like this. At that time, it is said that Lord Vishnu was always worried about Ambarish, that this fellow never takes care of himself. Although he is a king, he doesn't have even bodyguards walking with him. He just walks to temple, walks back from the temple. Therefore, Lord kept one Sudarshan Chakra always revolving above his palace. It was always there. So as soon as this demon was created, the Sudarshan, immediately it came and cut off the demon to pieces. And then you all know it was chasing after Durvasa. You can see that. There is a saying in Hindi, Jako rakai saiya, marana sakai koi, balana banka kare sakai. What is the meaning of this? A devotee of the Lord is so powerfully protected by the Supreme Lord that one cannot even take one hair from the head of a devotee, it is said. So I was quoting this verse in one lecture. I asked the students, why is it that a non-devotee cannot take even one hair from the head of a devotee? One boy said, I think Prabhuji, because devotees are shaven-headed. He said. See? I said, okay, they may be shaven, but they have shika here. From here also, at least one hair you can take. I told them, see, Durvasa Muni could not take one hair from the head of Ambarish, but he had to take one hair from his own head and put on the ground. So he lost some hair, not Ambarish. Think of it, how powerful the protection of the Lord is. Is it not amazing? Similarly, the Pandavas, so many assassination attempts were made on them by Duryodhana and company. Lord was there always protecting them. His protective glance and grace was always on the Pandavas. They are always protected. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj was protected in all situations. So nobody can curse a devotee. Like Parikshit was apparently cursed by the inexperienced and foolish boy Shringi. But he only became an instrument of Kali. But Parikshit didn't die because of him. Parikshit was to be called by the Lord back to spiritual world, because the Lord thought if as long as Parikshit is here, then Kali Yuga cannot even proceed. Therefore, the Lord wanted to bring Srimad Bhagavatam to the world. And Parikshit also, it is said, Nottama shloka vartanam jishatam tat katamritam syat sambhṛta kalepi smaratam tat padambujam. The devotees of the Lord are never affected or never agitated when they have to face inevitabilities like old age or disease or death, because they know the purpose of the Lord and they are willing to align themselves with the Lord's will. So Parikshit was ready to go back to Godhead. In fact, flowers were showered by the demigods when Parikshit was leaving on the 7th day after hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. He ascended to the spiritual world. So he didn't lose anything. On the contrary, his name came to be written in golden letters in the pages of Bhagavatam. So similarly, once Garuda was cursed by one Rishi, Saubari Muni. But Garuda didn't curse back. Because Garuda actually was a very advanced devotee of the Lord. He is a bird carrier of Lord Vishnu. Who can curse him? And he didn't curse back. Nevertheless, the offense of Saubari Muni made him fall down. Subsequently, he fell down because of that dealing with the Lord's devotee. So, therefore, we should be assured in our heart that you are highly protected by the Lord's loving glance at every moment. Nobody can do anything to you. If anything happens to you, that is only because the Lord has permitted it. If Lord doesn't permit, nothing can happen to you. Nobody else can do anything. Actually, as soon as I came to know this fact, I became super confident in my life. After I understood this, which means earlier I may be fearing multiple people in this world. Now I don't fear anybody now. Why? Because I have a very supreme protector who is all araraka kartana hi ye bhava samsare. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. They're always protected. And the Lord will paralyze anybody who tries to attack a devotee. Just like Jadabharata. You know, the dacoits were taking a chopper to chop off his head. Jadabharata didn't run away, but you can see that the Lord's arrangement was there by the Devi, Durga Devi, exploded, and then she expanded into 12 forms. And then they took the chopper and cut off all the heads of those dacoits, and they were playing like a football, isn't it? They were playing like a ball. So, in this way, and Jadabharata got up and walked out, and he was protected. So, sometimes people ask, we hear about some temple demolishments or desecration of deities and killing of the devotees has happened in the past. How then Lord did not protect those devotees, people ask. But if you carefully observe those instances, you go back in the history, devotees were hoarding huge amount of wealth, like 2000 kilo gold or 1500 kilos gold. If you are hoarding gold, that's a place of Kali. It's very dangerous to hoard a lot of wealth, because unnecessarily it attracts the enemies. So, and also, even if somebody desecrates a deity or a temple, the deity form of the Lord in this world appears not to declare his supremacy. The deity form appears to receive service from loving devotees. If you see it as a deity, he will receive loving service. If you don't see it as a deity and you try to desecrate it, then you will only get a piece of stone, you will not get deity. For example, this clock here, you can use this clock as a time shower. then it will show you time. But if you climb up and break the sticks of the clock, then it will not function as a clock. That's all. You lost the opportunity to know the time now. You cannot know the time by breaking the sticks. That doesn't stop the time flowing. Correct, no? You may break the sticks. Is the time going to stop because you have done it? You are being devoured by time, slapped by time, whipped by time, buried by time, burned by time. You cannot stop the time. Lord is ever existing, eternal, imperishable. And He is always there. And He manifests Himself in the form of holy rivers, holy deities, holy prasad, holy name, holy devotees, holy books, in various forms. You can take a Bhagavad Gita and tear it, or one may do some things like that, utterly foolish. It's an offense certainly. One will be punished for that offense eventually. But Lord continues to exist because He is beyond all the space and time. He always exists. And those devotees, another reason why such kinds of things happen, in the temples and mathas, sometimes there is a loss of purity standards. If man and woman get into illicit activities, and sometimes there's a fire accident, you hear, in a temple and other places. Why? Because there is some improper adultery, such things going on. Somebody is breaking the purity principles, then they get punishment. Or there's an invasion. Also, sometime when the Mughal invasion would happen, the devotees would bury the deities underground. Why? That means Lord is displeased with the devotees' service. They are not properly attending to the deity. So Lord will hide Himself in the name of hiding. But the purpose of His hiding is, He is displeased with the service rendered. He hides. And then later on, when Madhavendra type of some nice devotee comes to the Lord, again manifests Himself and accepts service. Okay, you put me on the top of Govardhan hill and you worship me. The Lord comes in dream of Madhavendra and told them. So therefore, these are certain pointers we can take in our life. Don't neglect the service to the deities. Keep purity in consciousness and speech and dealings in our life, and always be attentive in spiritual life. Remember that the life is temporary in this world. We have to return back to Godhead. And also, don't materially impress the mass of people by hoarding too much amount of wealth, because that is going to attract unwanted elements. Not only unwanted elements. Prabhupada said, if you have too much of gold and silver, even some devotees also will become corrupt, Prabhupada said. They will steal. Even pujaris can steal and run. Prabhupada says in one letter. Unnecessarily don't attract, because our movement is for spreading Sankirtan. It is not for just impressing the mass of people. Nevertheless, at Sridham Mayapur, Prabhupada wanted, and even Lord Nityananda wanted, a big temple like this, because this is a world headquarters. And other than Mayapur and other places, Prabhupada was not very much after having too many big temples. Rather, Prabhupada said, we want to go out in the street, do Harinam Sankirtan, distribute prasad, distribute the holy name, distribute books, and devotees should live utterly simple lives like penniless beggars. Devotees actually should be poverty for oneself and opulence for the Lord. If we live with that principle, we can bring a lot of people into the fold of this movement. Devotees should live very simple lives, and their greatness should be in devotion, not in terms of material display of one's greatness. So in this way, then devotees will be protected by the Lord when we depend on Him and when we live under His lotus feet in His shelter. Hare Krishna. Can I take 5 minutes questions?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for a nice class. The last point you made about Srila Prabhupada instructing the devotees not to have too much wealth. So, being a family man, we often find ourselves, accumulating a lot of wealth, not for the sake of ourselves, but to maintain the families, and and then we get carried away. So, where to put the boundary?
Yeah, actually, the very first thing is, if we keep our life simple, then the money we need will also be less. Say, for example, I want clothes to cover my body. That's not very costly. But I want to wear branded clothes. That is costly. If I want a car to commute, even a Maruti car would do. But if I want a car to show off, that will be very costly. Correct, no? So if I want a house to live, I need a very small house for husband, wife, child. We don't need a big house. But if I want a house to impress the people out in the outside world, then I'll need a huge house, correct, no? So, this is the very first principle of simplicity in wearing, in eating, in living. So, anybody adopts this, then the wealth needed would be very little. That's the first principle. And the second thing, high thinking. Simple living, high thinking. What is high thinking? If we keep our sadhana program very intense, say rising early in the morning and coming for the arti and chanting and hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam class, it actually elevates our consciousness and purifies our consciousness to such a degree, our inner fulfillment and boundless bliss can be experienced by a practicing devotee. That happiness makes all the material pleasures to be insignificant. And we don't hanker for the outside world materialistic achievements. We feel pity for those people who are chasing after the mirage of material pleasures. But if I compromise in my morning program, in my chanting, hearing Bhagavatam daily and elevating my consciousness, proportionately my material hankering is going to increase. If I dilute the one, for example, if I have firewood, I sprinkle water on that, and then I put it in the furnace, it's going to have a smoke also. Fire and smoke. But if there is no water sprinkled, it's a dry firewood, then it'll just very powerfully it'll grow fire. So therefore the high thinking is the morning program, intense chanting, helplessly, intensively, and with proper attitude, nicely chanted rounds. So then a devotee's heart becomes light like a swab of cotton. A devotee is blissfully situated. Then they hardly need anything, any material commodities for a happy life. Their material needs get reduced. So they are also doing simple living. They are also doing high thinking. Then thirdly, the family should always come together. Whether you are in the dham, whether you are in a city, the husband, wife, children should have some, at least 15 minutes of get together every day, singing together for the deities, or some discussing together, or doing some seva together. By this, the family that prays together will stay together. But sometimes what happens? Husband is doing his service and wife is doing her service. When they come home, they don't have anything in common, due to which some tussles may come. You may say, you didn't do this, and she may say, you didn't do that. But if they daily come together 15 minutes, that keeps the family together, family values are taken care, children are happy. Because I come from a family where twice in a day we used to eat with mother, father, my sisters. We all used to sit peacefully and take. Nowadays I find people are running, isn't it? Life has become so busy nowadays. So we used to sit at home and there's nothing to run after. Because in those days there was no mobile, there was no TV. So we had a very nice time. So we also used to do puja together in the morning with parents. So that family values are taken care. And when you are entering some service in the temple as a full-time devotee or a part-time devotee, or if somebody is going for a job in the outside world, in the professional life, while going, coming, while commuting also one can hear lectures, correct, no? In the car one can hear while going. The office one can have a picture of Radha Madhava or Panchatattva on the table. So that as soon as you go to office, first you see the Lord and you bow your head to Him. You consider your profession as a service to Him. So in this way, we can Krishnaize our life. At the same time, I don't say we don't have to earn money, especially if somebody is a family man. One has to earn money, save money, and cut costs, and not live lavishly. We have to save money and cut costs as much as possible. For example, you can cook at home, it is cheap if you cook at home. But if you order a pizza, it is costly. Correct, no? It's very comfortable. Just make one phone call, pizza, it comes. At the end of the month, the big bill also will come. Correct, no? Isn't it? See, eating in even a devotee hotel like a Govinda's something, is it cheap or cooking at home is cheap? Isn't it? So, when we cook at home, that's what I was telling, we don't live lavishly, we lead a simple life and save money, cut costs. If you have these principles, then you are earning money, even 8 to 9 hours if you work, a grihastha man works, easily he can earn out money what he needs, plus he can save also, very easily. But nowadays, what people do nowadays, they start with 9 hours of work, because of their lavish lifestyle, then they need more money. Then he goes for more job. He goes for 12 hours. Like I see some people are doing 3 jobs a day. Morning one job before going to company, after coming back one more job in the evening after. Like that they do. Then what happens? 14 hours a day you work, no spiritual program of the family together. Family is never happy. No proper sadhana, so he is himself not very happy. Correct, no? So, and also lavish lifestyle, that is never going to satisfy us. It will go on increasing our hankering more and more. So, this simple living, high thinking, bringing the family together, opulence for the Lord and poverty for oneself, and developing an inner higher taste. So, those who have, like Sanatana Goswami had such inner fulfillment that he could throw the parsamani in the dustbin. Even that fellow was surprised how he put it in the dustbin, isn't it? Is it clear? Thank you. Anybody else? There is one hand up way behind there. Here 2 hands up, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you said in this purport it was explained that a devotee will only manifest if the Lord's will and for preaching purpose. Then
A devotee?
A person from spiritual world comes to this world.
Correct.
Only due to Lord's will and for
This
preaching
Prabhupada
purpose.
says here, in another place Prabhupada says, when a living entity wants to come to the material world, and to create something for the Lord. Lord says, you don't have to create anything for me. I have already created everything. But if Jiva insists that I want to come, then the Lord makes him Brahma, Prabhupada says. And then when you become Brahma, you create something wonderful, and then you go back to Godhead. Or when you become Brahma, here you become proud that I am the creator. Then you come down to the human platform. Then from human platform, one can come down to animal platform. Other plants and everything like that one can become. And then Prabhupada went on to say that every one of us have been Brahma at one time. Prabhupada says. Can you imagine, any of you remember you were Brahma once? You may not remember, but Prabhupada says every jiva who comes here, he becomes Brahma, first he is given a chance. And in case we did not become proud, we won't be here. We must have gone back to Godhead immediately. We did some mistake, so we became humans and then we glided down to lower forms. Prabhupada writes that also. All right? Yeah, thank you. There was two hands up. Please give the mic to them. Here. Prabhuji, you can loudly speak. Okay.
So, you said that Bhishmadev joined Duryodhana.
On the desire of Lord Krishna.
So I got a doubt that in Bhagavad Gita lecture 1.23, so Prabhupada is saying that
Prabhupada says that Lord wanted to teach the world that by being an enemy of the Lord, no one can win.
No.
One is not.
Yes, Prabhupada is saying that they were not in the political party, means Arjuna or Maharaj Yudhishthira was not king at the time. The financial control was not in their hands. And these people, sons of Dhritarashtra, they were on the government political power. So Prabhupada is saying that Arjuna, means Bhishmadev is saying, Arjuna, I am getting money from Duryodhana.
Correct.
So in this point of danger, if I do not join him, it does not look well. I am getting financial maintenance.
Yeah. This is a lower understanding. That's what I told you. From the transcendental point of view, all these things are cancelled. That is there. What I am saying is there in the purport of Kunti Maharani. One of the purport purposes is Bhishma taking the other side. That's a transcendental point of view. What you are talking is from a mundane point of view. The two different angles. For example, Prabhupada says, Arjuna was weeping before the battle because of material attachment, Prabhupada says. In another purport, Prabhupada says, Arjuna was a soft-hearted devotee of the Lord. Therefore, he was weeping. Now, which one is right?
Arjuna was soft-hearted.
No, both are right. Yeah. This one is material attachment is for us to learn lesson. It is not for Arjuna. He is a pure devotee. He is just playing that role. For us to learn the material attachment, Prabhupada says that point. But the real point is he is soft-hearted devotee. Similarly, Bhishma also from a material point of view, there are some lessons for us to learn. And when you see him as a pure devotee, transcendently, then we should treat him as becoming enemy for Virya Rasa only. Is that all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Śrī Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much.